Hi everyone, just thought I would share with you my favorite marking tool ever, audio feedback with Turnitin. I'm going in through my BU, and as you can see, here is an example I uploaded earlier, a book chapter that I've previously written, with a very high 98% plagiarism score. So you get into Turnitin, and I'm just going to make sure that you can see all this. So when you get into Turnitin, here we have our quick marks, which I talked about in the blog post. The quick marks is where I spent a lot of time up front creating these so that I would be able to just drag and drop. So for instance, if my student is having an issue with commas and semicolons, I can just drag there. We got some Harvard referencing issues, you can just drag, in here. Ooh, it's not letting me drag. Drag over to here. Now, what you can do with these quick marks is you can click on them. If there's any additional comments that you need to learn how to reference, um, you can do that, and then you will leave an additional comment so the student will see here's the quick mark, but there's something else that you're pointing to them. If you go, oops, my bad, didn't mean to leave that comment, you just press the delete, the little trash can. So moving down into the piece of paper with the pen, this is your feedback summary. The text comment, leave feedback here. So this is pretty much where you can leave up to 5,000 characters of written feedback. So the same as if you were leaving comments on a mark sheet that you were printing out. But here's my favorite part right here, the voice comment. So as you can see, there's up to 3 minutes of audio feedback that you can leave. This is the record button here. So I'm just going to start explaining how I would go about doing this. So when I start marking an essay, I start reading, obviously, and I really enjoy the fact that you've used a Joseph Pulitzer quote at the beginning of this chapter. I think it shows innovation, blah, blah, blah. Now, as I keep reading, I'm taking all of this in, but I can actually pause the recording now so that I have some more time to continue reading the essay. And something that I didn't enjoy in this chapter is the fact that you've created bullet points. Perhaps those statements could have been integrated into the previous paragraph. So I continue reading until I get down into another section. When I got to the introduction to moral panic section, Anne, I really thought that this was a really comprehensive discussion around folk devils and moral panics, and really set the scene for what it is actually, what this theory actually discusses. I like how you outlined Cohen's 7 clusters, and so on and so forth. And I've paused again. So as you can see, I've now recorded 46 seconds out of 3 minutes. I decide that's enough for this student. I don't need to leave them any more feedback. Stop the recording, save the recording, and then it prepares to save. Now, this generally doesn't take a lot of time. It depends on how the system is working. Depends on your home internet. I like to do audio feedback, especially over the Christmas break. I find it's much easier to mark essays in my pajamas rather than having to do this at work. Although I do it at work. If I'm in my office, I let my colleagues know that I'm going to be doing audio feedback. And what I actually end up doing is putting my headphones in so I can hear what's being said. And they're obviously hearing as if I'm on the telephone, but if I'm playing it back, they don't have to listen to my voice again. Now, this is taking a little bit longer than normal to save. Normally, I can't go and turn on the kettle and have a cup of tea. Normally, it's, as I've turned on the kettle and the time it takes me to walk from the kitchen back into my office at home, it's ready. So as you can see here now, this has actually saved. It indicates that you have had 45 seconds of feedback. I always try to leave at least a minimum of 2 minutes and 30, and sometimes I will get up all the way to the 3 minutes. So if you want to check what that sounds like, so when I start marking an essay, I start reading, obviously, and I really enjoy the fact that you've used a Joseph Pulitzer quote at the beginning of this chapter. I think it shows innovation. and then you can just pause it. Now, personally, I never actually go back and listen to the comment again. I also don't pre-write my comments. I read the essay as I'm going and I leave audio feedback as I'm going as well. It takes a lot less time and it does save a lot of marking time, especially if you're marking like 200 essays. So then what you do is you just leave the mark, press enter, exit out, and your audio feedback is complete. So I really hope that that has been of some use. If you would like a one-to-one tutorial on this, or you want to talk through it a little bit more, please do come to some of the TEL sessions, or just get in touch with me over email. We can set up and have a coffee. All right, enjoy.